Well, we are watching some breaking news here. Can you see that huge plume of smoke? You know what, Javier? I was looking at the Phoenix Fire Board. It's a first alarm fire. Actually, now it's been upgraded to a 2-alarm fire. I'm just being informed. An apartment fire near Indian School and 12th Street. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Wow. We're getting new video right now. Our crew just arriving on scene, and you can see somebody on a roof. And those are some huge flames shooting out of what Gina described as an apartment building, and you see people all around. Hopefully they were able to get everyone out safely, because that looks like a really bad fire.
Javier, what is that guy doing? Is he taking video of that, or is he on top of what on earth?
It appears that's what he's doing. I don't, it's hard from this vantage point to tell how far away, but he's pretty close. It looks like he jumped on some sort of shed or something to get that video. In
fact, we're hearing it's the old Arthur Murray Dance Studio. But the fire board, the Phoenix Fire Department, they have a website where you can see where their units are responding. It's listed as an apartment fire, but our producer just getting word that it is the old Arthur Murray Dance Studio.
Okay.
Wow, take a look at the flames. This thing is just fully engulfed. And then if you look real closely, Hob, do you see the stream of water on the left? It looks like maybe Phoenix Fire taking a defensive stance on this.
There is a crew already on scene, which is good news right there, but that thing is fully involved right now. And when you see that dark black smoke billowing high in the sky, you know there is a lot of stuff to burn.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, and that's one of the signs that where we can tell what the progress of the fire is. When the smoke is black, we know that it is still burning. Once that smoke starts to turn white, well, that's steam that we see from the fire. But we are far from that. That is a very dark plume and could be seen from miles away. You know, our station is miles and miles from this, and we could see that plume from our camera that's on top of the building here at our station.
So we have a crew there, obviously giving us live pictures right now. We have another drone crew headed that direction and a reporting crew as well to try to get details of what exactly is going on. The good news here, Gina, is the person who was on that shed trying to get video has now stepped down, which is for safety.
So we're going to stay with our continuing breaking coverage here. Again, if you are just turning on the TV, maybe you're just waking up because we're getting into the 6 o'clock hour. This is now a second alarm fire. The Phoenix Fire Department there on the scene. It's listed as an apartment fire near 12th Street and Indian School, but we were just getting word that it is the old Arthur Murray Dance Studio. So, if it was actually an abandoned building, well, gosh, you can see what looks to be apartments in the foreground there, Javier. Maybe it's the dance studio, maybe it's attached to apartments. It's hard to say, but boy, that thing is cooking right now.
Well, you see, it looks like there's some apartments right next to it. So, it's hard to tell exactly how close it is, and hopefully they evacuated everyone out of that area so that they could continue to fight this fire, because those flames are pretty large.
Yeah, we were saying how we can see that stream of water there to the left of your screen. If you look at the top of the building, you can kind of see the stream of water there. And so that leads us to believe that perhaps Phoenix Fire thank you for zooming into our crews out there. They're taking a defensive stance versus going in. It's hard to say, the crews there on the scene are going to have to make that call.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a crew out there. We can get more details as far as what areas were evacuated, because it does appear, if that's the Arthur Murray old dance studio, it does appear there are 2 buildings on the other side that appear to be apartments.
Yeah, possibly. And like you said, hopefully they got everybody out okay. When we're talking about a second alarm fire, that, we're talking upwards of, 90 firefighters or 90 personnel from the fire department there on the scene, close to 100 people to fight this thing. So that gives you an idea of the scope, of the gravity, just how big this fire is. And, Hob, does that look like a balcony maybe from an apartment?
It does. And I would assume that there's more than one balcony in that apartment complex. When you talk about the second alarm, Gina, as that bumps up and brings out more personnel, a lot of it has to do with our temperatures out there that remain pretty hot. And They only want firefighters fighting those fires for a short period of time, and they switch them out and get them hydrated and make sure that they're cooled down before they get back into action.
Well, you bring up a really good point. I mean, if there's any saving grace in having to fight this, it's during the early morning hours. So temperatures not nearly as bad as it will be this afternoon. Ian telling us that we're expecting a high about a 113. But yeah, typically, especially this time of year, to your point, Javier, they'll have firefighters, go in for 20 minutes and come out, and they set up a triage area where they can cool down, and then other firefighters will go in as well. Initially we saw somebody else standing up where this guy was, and because of the perspective of the camera, it looked like he was right on top of the building, but it looks like it's just a dumpster, maybe a short ways away there, and people just trying to get a view of what's going on.
Yeah, Ian is looking on the Google map and says that there's also a 99-cent store somewhere right in that area. So we're trying to gather as much information as we can about what's going on. We do know that a fire crew is there and they are dousing these flames with water, and it appears to at least make some progress in one spot, but you can still see those flames on the other side.
Hav, as we move into the 6 o'clock hour, let's bring in our partners, Scott and Olivia. They normally take over this time of the day here. And guys, this fire, boy, again, a second alarm. So meaning that we've got at least 90 firefighters, personnel from the fire department there on the scene. And the plume of smoke can be seen from miles away.
Yeah, Gina, good morning. Thank you. Great job covering this, you and Javi. Look at the size of the flames and the smoke billowing off of this. We're at a distance, so we heard that it was possibly the Arthur Murray Dance Studio, the old one. It could be an apartment building under construction. So as we are able to get a little closer, we'll let you know exactly what is on fire. But temperatures in the 90s out there, I believe. Is that what it is? Yeah, in the 90s right now. So not ideal conditions for firefighters. But the flames are absolutely huge, so there is something burning very well right there this morning. We want to bring in April and Olivia this morning as well as we continue to cover this second alarm fire at 12th Street and Indian School. And, it's going to be a lot hotter later, April, but still, it's very, very tough conditions for firefighters.
Yeah, absolutely. When we take a look outside, winds are very light this morning. They're out of the east right now at about 3 miles per hour. And so that's the good news is that winds really aren't that bad. They're out of the east-southeast at about 3 miles per hour. But yeah, temperature's really warm. It's 91 degrees out there this morning. And, we're headed for a high of 113, which we won't see until the afternoon. But it's going to warm up really quickly out there. It's also a little bit humid. A dew point of 58 degrees. It is not comfortable out there.
Yeah, not at all. You can see our crew on the way right there. And you can see that firefighters are putting water on this thing. But if it's something under construction, obviously a lot of wood that's burning really hard and fast right now. Olivia, good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, it is remarkable as she's talking about a lack of winds. That's really evident because you can see all those flames down at the bottom and then that dark, dark smoke seeming to plume straight up in the air. But the width of it is really shocking and impressive. And over the years, I think, most of us have probably done some of these charity events where you go to a dance studio. I remember going to this location. So if that turns out to be the Arthur Murray Dance Studio, but it's certainly hard to tell here. And it looks like there's a lot of other buildings around. And clearly, Scott, plenty to burn this morning. Yeah,
Olivia, we've got Captain Keller with Phoenix Fire on the line right now to tell us more. Captain, thanks for joining us. I know you guys are busy. What is on fire right now?
So right now what's on fire is that it was a 2-story apartment complex that was under construction. And what I was talking to some of the businesses next door to it, and they said it's been under construction for about 7 months.
So that explains why it's burning so fast, all that wood, right?
That's correct. Yes, it's they got dispatched a little bit before 6 o'clock, and immediately this got balanced to a working fire due to the smoke and the calls that were coming in.
I don't know if workers would be out there this early. I'm sure they are, but isn't it always a little curious when something is under construction and it catches fire?
Well, at this point, we're not really worried about that. What we're worried about is the safety of our personnel, the safety of the businesses next to it, and protecting the exposures, which would be the businesses on the all 4 sides of this current building that's burning.
So, Captain Keller, I guess the good news would be there would be nobody on property, your assumption, once this fire erupted. And secondly, is it in later stages of construction that there's some fire protections built in to keep a building from burning so fast like we're seeing this morning?
Right. This phase of the construction process, it looks like it was in the framing part. So we kind of call them stick cities, which means it's just a bunch of wood. And at that point, there would be no fire suppression system, no sprinklers installed. So this would rapidly go up in flames, which it did. And looking at it right now, you can see that it has burned pretty much all the way through the framing.
And Captain, when it's in the framing stage like this, what is the method of attacking a fire like this? Just surround it with as much water as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. This is we're taking a defensive posture on this fire, so we're going to get trucks on all four sides, and we're going to use our stand guns, and we're going to use our stand guns, and we're going to use our ladder pipes to just pretty much what we call a surround and drown.
Captain Keller, April was talking earlier about good thing is not a lot of winds out there this morning, but we're already in warm temperatures. So what's the strategy during these summer months? Obviously, it could be worse. It could be late in the afternoon when your firefighters were out dealing with this. But still, heat has to play a factor in their ability to do their jobs well while preserving their own health.
Yes, that's something we always take into account is the heat. At this point in the day, it's not as hot as it would be at 5 o'clock, but that's the way we balance it to an additional alarms, and we layer resources so we can recycle firefighters in and out of this fire and keep them safe.
Well, Captain, we see that black smoke turning white, so that's good news. They've really got, looks like a handle on this, and looks like another great job by firefighters out there. So I'm assuming hopefully no surrounding businesses were hit by this, and so we'll stay in touch to see what happened out there.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Have a great morning.
Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Captain.